A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant potential shift in the UK tax landscape, plans for a new tax on homes valued over £500,000 are reportedly under consideration by the Treasury. This proposal could mark the end of the traditional stamp duty and council tax systems that have long governed property transactions in the UK. Chancellor Rachel Reeves has tasked officials with evaluating how a new proportional property tax might be implemented ahead of the upcoming autumn budget. Sources indicate that this overhaul could lead to a national property tax replacing the existing stamp duty on owner-occupied homes. Additionally, a local property tax could be introduced to replace council tax, which would aim to bolster the finances of struggling local authorities. The proposed changes are said to be informed by a report from the center-right think tank Onward, which criticizes the current tax systems and outlines steps for their replacement. Currently, stamp duty is a tax levied on buyers of residential properties, with rates varying based on the property's price and whether it is the buyer's first purchase. First-time buyers have benefited from stamp duty relief, allowing them to avoid this tax on homes valued up to £300,000. Beyond this threshold, they face a 5% tax on the remaining amount up to £500,000. For those purchasing second homes, the tax structure is more complex, with various rates applied depending on the property's value. The proposed changes would introduce a new tax on properties sold for over £500,000, with the rate set by HMRC and calculated based on the property's value. This means that owners of properties just above the threshold would pay only a minimal amount, as suggested in Onward's report. Furthermore, the concept of a local property tax would replace council tax, with rates determined by local authorities and levied on property values up to a cap of £500,000. This aims to address long-standing criticisms of council tax, which is based on outdated property valuations from the 1990s. The new local property tax would ensure that property valuations are updated regularly, reflecting current market conditions and ensuring a fairer tax system. However, there are concerns that these proposed taxes could disproportionately affect residents in areas with higher property values, particularly in London. Simon Gerrard, chairman of Martin Gerrard Estate Agents, expressed that this could lead to what he calls a London tax, as the average property price in the capital now exceeds £666,000. Critics argue that raising taxes on properties over £500,000 does not equate to making the wealthy pay their fair share, but rather imposes a financial burden on ordinary Londoners. Currently, the government has not made any final decisions regarding these proposals, and officials have not publicly commented on their validity. As the Treasury explores these plans, they are also considering how to strengthen public finances through economic growth rather than solely relying on tax increases. A Treasury spokesperson emphasized that the focus is on growing the economy, with planning reforms expected to contribute significantly to economic growth and reduce borrowing. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is expected to unveil any changes to the government's tax policy during a fiscal event, such as the budget, where the implications of these proposed taxes will be further clarified. Former government advisor Tim Lunig has suggested that a national proportional property tax could effectively replace stamp duty, proposing a rate that would generate similar revenue. As discussions continue, the implications of these tax reforms could have far-reaching consequences for homeowners and the housing market across the UK. With the potential for a significant overhaul of the existing tax framework, homeowners, buyers, and local authorities alike are keenly watching the developments that may reshape the way property transactions are taxed in the country. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.